Game number 1, we're on Beckett Industries top right hand corner, where the red Protoss for Good Game Gaming is spawning. It is Patience. On the opposite side of the map, in the blue, the Terran from Africa Freaks makes a noise for TY. Beckett Industries, guys, such a short map with these acceleration zones and so many choke points. This is one of the oddest maps I've ever seen, and TY wants to make it even worse for Patience with a proxy, because you know what? You can start a Rex in your opponent's natural at 40 seconds in the game. You just cancel it and it's fine, because it's 50 seconds in the game, it's that early. Just imagine a map in which it takes 40 seconds to rush the whole distance. It's such an incredibly short amount of time, it's unthinkable. I remember some of the old maps used to have like 52 seconds. Like Dreamcatcher comes from my Year Zero. Those maps used to take 52 seconds for your first worker to walk the distance. And TY started Rex at 40 seconds in Patience Natural, because whatever. Anyhow, NGB block will slow down Patience, but wait, was that a kill? I hope it was a cancel. This SCV is badly bruised, but will still retreat. Not too much lost here by Patience, not too much lost here by TY. Unless that wasn't a cancel, but I think it was. Like, yeah, it certainly was. There's a very odd number in TY resources. That was definitely a cancel. Alright, TY starting his natural as well. On the low ground. Doesn't really fear anything. Patience still needs to get a scout on. Like, he's going to start off things with a Stalker instead of an Adept. Once again, this is a short map. The Reaper is not something you have to be scared about because of the Rex proxy cancel. So you can easily start with a Stalker. And Patience is just a player who will gladly take the opportunity to make more Stalkers. His Blink Micro is one of the most well-known things on the Korean scene. But of course, TY is also one of the most known things on the Korean scene. So we will see who will come out on top. It's a Stargate opener from Patience. One I'm actually fairly surprised to see. This one Stalker already getting an interesting good trade, cutting backwards against these Marines, and will get a kill while getting the other bruise. Oh, that was a badly bruised Marine. Yeah, Stalkers can just indefinitely cut Marines however they want. That's a lot of kills on one Stalker. That's a lot of kills on one Stalker. Just this guy got 3 Marines killed. I mean, doesn't really go the distance, but with a Stargate opener, the less Marines you're about to face, the more time you can spend with your air units on the other side of the map. How did this SCV get over here is beyond me, but I guess it's fine. It's whatever. The Widowmine will burrow to try and get these Stalkers out of the natural. But in the end, Patience will decide against it and will just start trading even more. What a creep block by TY with a Marine! And we'll get the one Stalker. This other Stalker is one shot away from dying. It will just back off into safety, but yeah. That is a good trade. 8 Marines for one Stalker. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. The SCV trying to get on top of the Stalker. Hero SCV. But in the end, it's time for the Oracle to make its way in. Patience. You mad lad. The Cyclone doesn't even get started before Patience is absolutely destroying TY in his natural. Of course, this will not last long. There's a Viking out. The Oracle needs to go away. More Marines are in the production, but Patience is on 3 bases, and TY just started mining from his natural. That is a huge trade for Patience. In the early game, you'll definitely take those kind of trades as the Protoss player. He might not have a lot of workers, which is probably a macro mistake on his side, trying to rush down as much production facilities and researches as possible. Well, not facilities. Units from the Stargate and the gateways, of course. But in the end, it will still mean is 10 workers ahead, which is not like as much as I was thinking, but it's still a fairly significant number. In this matchup, you usually are still ahead of your opponent in workers if you're the Protoss player, but you're kind of expecting something to happen from the terrain at this stage, and TY just does not have the capabilities of doing so. He had to fast expand, get a third base right now, which is about to finish, and a Liberator is in the making to double it down on the strengths of his sieging positions here on Beckett Industries. I like the choice. There's an insane amount of dead airspace, but with a Stargate opener, that one Liberator is very vulnerable to Phoenixes. It looks like the two armies are just gonna pass by each other. I'm fairly certain this base trade favors patience much more than TY. The tanks are an issue, but there's not much going over here. Whoa, that's white! That's very white. Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know what happened. Anyhow, on the other side of the map, a recall gets issued. Blink is down. Oh my goodness, those tank shots were absolutely devastating. Yeah. Patience advantage is gone. It's gone for a lot of time. 24 workers killed. If Patience doesn't do anything incredible right now, this game is absolutely over. 44 workers to 33, and that statistic is only going to grow in favor of TY. This is a terrible spot for Patience. It badly needs to make something happen, but the tank is in a very good position. Marines, of course, are not going to steam because steam is not done. They're not gonna risk their lives fighting those stalkers. He's just gonna sit there with Patience, completely incapable of doing anything. The Raven is in the making, and this Banshee is about to make Patience's day even worse than it already was. So many cute little probes are not going to mine any more minerals forever. It's 6 kills with the 1 Banshee, and there's still more to come. No shield battery in the natural. A blame forward will eventually get the Banshee, but not before he gets another kill. It's 7 probes killed by a single Banshee, and now TY is on 50 workers against 43. After being behind 1 base for like a minute and a half or even more, TY will be gladly taking the lead, both in army and in worker supply. Viking 10 Oracle, well, Phoenix is an Oracle trying to do something, but the Oracle actually follows Patience. Melting down against the pressure that TY has been putting against him. This tank is a little bit too exposed. We'll get a plane forward, and so will this other tank before these Stalkers can get back into safety. The Raven could be another huge snipe. That doesn't really save Patience from the position he's in, but still, this game is anyone's to win. Getting those 2 tanks sure helps a lot, slowing down TY a little bit more. He mostly has a lot of defensive units with the Cyclone, more tanks, and of course the Raven. But given enough time, TY can easily snowball this game out of control. Patience needs to do something about it, because TY right now is already making his way through the map, and this army is massive. Let me tell you that steam on these many Marines can easily turn the tides of the battle alongside these tanks and a couple well-placed interference matrices. The micro potential of the army of TY is just something that Patience cannot easily control without sniping the Raven. But sniping that Raven, yeah, it's a very complicated task. Interference matrix doesn't have the longest of range, but once it's down, I mean, the fight is already won. If TY gets a good interference matrix on any of those 2 colossi, the fight can no longer go in favor of the Protoss. It looks like TY is setting up his beautiful sieging position, and another beautiful anti-armor missile will hit all of these Protoss units. Now, patience, all you can do is just watch this base die under the shots of the cannon, of the siege tanks. It looks like 10 probes are going to be killed. Intervention is going on top of the Colossi. The Vikings trying to do their best. In the end, the Colossi DPS is just a tad too high for TY to handle. But you still take this trade because you're so much ahead. You can easily take it. Planestalkers blinking into safety without getting anything down, really. The Colossi are ranking up a lot of kills. But I don't really think it's going to be enough, especially with these tanks always in position to support the bio army of the Terran. More Vikings are in the production as well as in armory. TY gaining a 4th base with a huge economy, a huge army supply. This game is easily snowballing in favor of the Terran. Patience might already have lost the window he had to do something significant. And now is only walking left and right, looking for some stragglers, looking for some kind of a misstep by TY, but none of that is happening as of now. Ghost Economy is going to be the tech choice out of TY. Very clever one. Getting a little bit ahead, a little bit earlier. It can get the risk of not having an answer to Disruptors for a little while longer. Because Patience doesn't really look like he's in the position to do anything aggressive. This Ghost Economy will go down unscouted, uncontested. The two armies are still a lot far from actually clashing in a game-finishing way. And TY walking a little bit forward. That's a beautiful anti-armor missile, which basically does the same as EMP, as long as the upgrades for shields and armor are not done yet. So in this position, TY still has a good trade if he wants to get on the aggressive. He will try to do that. Shield Body Overcharge gets used, but gets immediately killed by TY. Tanks are in a very good position, as well as the Vikings ready to zone the army of Patience. Once again, gets an orange die from the Raven. Yeah, the Nexus is going to go down. Anti-armor missile number 3 will not go down. The Raven will be sniped. But of course, Ghosts can easily be protected right now for TY. It no longer needs a Raven. 10 workers falling on the left side of the map. Patience falling to 56 after almost catching up with TY for the first time in this game. Planestalkers blinking forward, trying to get on top of the tanks. They will get those. But in the end, it's still not a great trade for Patience. There's still a lot of Terran going on over here. The Vikings will try to get on top of the Colossi. Will get one. Will get two. Will they get the third one? Yes, they will. It's just the Archons. There's no Ghost with this army. First Archon is going to go down. Disruptors are still a big threat. But in the end, TY is just puppeting with the army of Patience. And GG gets cold. Alright, game number 2. Let's see if this guy in the red can tie up the score. In the bottom right, it is Patience for Good Game Gaming. Instead, in the top left for Africa Freaks, in the blue, leading the series is TY. And he will try to bring this series to match point for Africa Freaks. That was surely a very strong game number 1 performance. And look at this. TY is the new Maru, guys. He just cannot stop Proxy. I swear he does the 1 Rex Proxy every single game. My goodness. Of course Patience is looking for it. TY just does it every single time. It's not there though. It's much closer because TY does that as well. He gets that Proxy so close to the face of his opponents. There's going to be a fast Reaper onto that cliff. Patience will decide against checking even more for the Proxy and will just walk his probe the distance to catch a glimpse at the Wolof of the Terran player. Alright, the Rex is done, the Reaper is in the making, there's a factory follow-up back home, a Zealot has been made by Patience. What are we looking at? It's a bunker, yes! I love this play, and on Romanticide, it can be especially scary because the space in the natural, it's actually huge. This Proxy has not yet been scouted, and now it's just making a tech lab in the main of Patience. These two early games have been so incredibly messy, and I love every second of it. TY kiting backwards from this one Zealot. Perfect starter step, and now it's time to get in the bunker. The one Nexus is in real danger, and this Rex still has to be scouted. Patience needs to think about his natural. Please make a pylon over there. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge bummer. That one pylon over here on the ramp of TY, it's a beautiful play by Patience. But still, the Reaper is going to be very hard to block, to stop. With Concussive Shells Marauders, this game could be over very quickly. That is an awesome play by TY. Something so clever, it's actually breaking me. Of course, Shield Battery is keeping that one Stalker topped off, waiting for the second Stalker to dive down on top of this bunker. Good micro by TY, keeping this SCV safe from harm. Concussive Shells is over, already two Marauders getting over here in a mineral line of Patience. Yeah, that is terrible for Patience. Terrible news. These probes cannot get a fight, and the Marauders will easily trade upwards with the Stalkers. Of course, these probes are getting a lot of damage done on top of the Marauders. Beautiful play actually by Patience, getting another Serrano on top of these Marauders. Marauders are very slow, not a single Stalker has fallen. Beautiful play by Patience. Very strong defensive play, but Shield Body Overcharge needs to be used to keep these probes alive, while TY will try to get in the main with his Reaper to get a little bit more damage, but an Oracle is out, possibly gets activated, and finally, TY is sent back home. Patience in a decent spot will try to macro it up and be on par with TY. Right now, 9 workers ahead, a huge number, but Hellions are coming. TY doesn't want the number to grow, and he sure is not growing. 7 more probes gets killed, and the advantage that Patience had basically gets reset. This Rex is still up. Another Marauder still hitting at the mineral line of Patience. How many shots does it take? I think it takes 3 shots for a Marauder to kill a probe. It's going to be 9 kills for TY. And now a Cyclone with Magnified Accelerator. Oh, the Marauder is still alive. He gets another probe. Yeah, alright. Alright, TY. Can you chill, please? Oh my goodness. 14 probes. Of course, this Cyclone is much needed for defense. The Rex will probably be saved. Even once the Phoenix is out, the Cyclone can just lock on top of that. Oh, double expand. I didn't see that. TY wants to get some leverage from the early aggression he did and wants to bite back in full style with a strong macro build. Double command center. He feels safe with his double Cyclone with Magnified Accelerator. Meanwhile, Hellions still getting damage. A total of 3 probes are going to be killed. And now only 5 probes ahead is Patience after being 1 base ahead for basically the whole game. There's a lot of Phoenixes though. They can just get there, lift off the 2 Cyclones and deal a lot of damage, of course. Patience cannot take these kind of trades and will back off, waiting for the good moment to strike. Stalkers will get a lot closer and... Oh, that was not a cancel. That was a kill by Patience. And that was quite an important one as well. 100 minerals go a long way in these odd stages of the game. The Rex finally has got back home, but is getting in danger. The lock-ons are going to be the most important part of the battle for TY. Meanwhile, Resonating Glaze is in the making. Stalkers shooing away those Cyclones with a lot of Phoenixes ready to get on top of everything. Beautiful collections from the Medivacs, keeping everything alive. All of these Vikings, all of the Phoenixes are getting absolutely destroyed by the Vikings. That is not a trade the Patience will like. And the army supply advantage he had is surely melting down very quickly. 3 workers have been killed. More Stalkers are making their way in. Patience wants to deal even more damage. Resonating Glades, I'm not sure if that's the answer. One of the Cyclones gets saved, but for how long? It looks like for a little while longer. 9 SCVs falling. Patience biting back in full style. Such a back and forth scrappy game. That Proxy on the top is doing a lot of work for Patience. And now that Resonating Glaives is almost on, these Adepts can get some real damage without any tanks being a threat to them. That's going to shade on top of the Vikings. Stalkers still trying to fight on top of these Cyclones, which are just not dying. Such skilled micro by TY, dodging the Stalker shots with his Medivacs pretty consistently, but Patience still has a very aggressive position. He doesn't back off as of now, and he still wants to get something done. Alright, lots of Adepts shading in. Will they complete the shade? They will, and they will try to get on top of the Cyclones. Beautiful collection from the Medivac, lifting them up on the high ground. The Phoenix lifting one of those tanks. The battle is not really going in favor of Patience though. A lot of workers have been killed, but this one tank on the high ground has been doing some serious work done for TY. This is still a double command center expand. TY can take those losses, at least for a little longer. All he needs to do is survive. Any more Adepts trying to shade in. They will try to shade on the rest of the army, forcing these tanks to get a lot of friendly fire, and they do exactly that. The Cyclone still kiting backwards. The tank is still going to fall. Meanwhile, on the high ground, there's another tank getting a lot of shells on top of these Adepts. This trade was a bit clunky for both players, but once again, all TY needs to do is survive. It doesn't need much more. Oh, lots of Adepts. Lots of Adepts. Shade completes. Now the Adepts are focusing fire on top of that one siege tank on the high ground. Lock-on gets used, but still the tank is up and standing. So many repairs. Finally, Stalkers coming clutch. 13 workers have been killed. Patience losing his whole army. And finally, TY, even if for a little amount of time, he's going to be ahead in supply. Patience knows he still needs to do something. He still needs to break TY. He goes for the Dark Shrine play, which can be very difficult to deal with for TY. As of now, Adept still shading forward, still forcing the tanks to deal a lot of friendly fire on top of these SCVs. Auto turret will be dropped on these Adepts, getting a lot of kill. Oh, the one Cyclone was very exposed, but in the end, Patience will shade back into safety. 6 more kills. I think maybe 4 to 5 Adepts have been killed by that. But in the end, a pretty good trade for Patience. He's waiting for Shadow Strike to finish to actually try and break down TY. This has been one of the oddest games I've ever seen. Patience still looking to find something with his Adepts. Anything will do. Stopping a Medivac drop, getting a Cyclone moving out, anything really works a long way. The Raven is absolutely terrible for this Dark Templar play though, and there's no Stalker to bulk it up no Stalker to actually get on top of the Raven, no Blink to actually get on top of the Raven. Of course, a beautiful drop by TY will get a lot of work done for Marines, make short work of 4 Prods, and now TY is in the main. Patience in real danger. He needs to warp in some units back home. It's Dark Templars. TY will decide to back off as of now. Patience has 20 more workers right now compared to TY. It's a lot. It's actually a huge amount considering how many workers he lost in this game. TY lost a lot of workers in those defenses as well. These Dark Templars will Shadow Strike back to safety, but they're just not getting anything done. They're struggling a little bit too much. Blame forward on top of the Cyclones will be huge, but the army of TY is marching forward. That's a strong army, almost doubling the supply of his opponent. The upgrades are going to be in favor of TY in a little while as well. And Patience just doesn't look like he has the tech to fend off a move out by TY. TY is still a little bit too scared about the Dark Templars. Will be staying back in his base and send out just a couple drops once they're ready. Of course, Patience doesn't want that to happen. He wants to be still proactive. These Shades will hardly complete. Yeah, they won't. That's a lot of Dark Templars. That's a lot of Dark Templars. With a Raven out, that's a very risky play. The tanks can just destroy everything. This one Medivac will be cleared by Patience without being able to do anything real. But of course, TY is preparing another drop play and is going to try and get the 4th Nexus of Patience. Oh, beautiful steam forward. Completely annihilating the defenses the Patience had set over here. Recall gets issued, and that's a lot of Dark Templars. That's a lot of damage. But the Nexus will still go down. Shadow Strike on cooldown. Blink is in the making. That's a lot of tanks. If the Raven stays alive, it's about to be not a great time for the Protoss player with these many Dark Templars being out. Cyclones locking in on top of the one pylon. With Patience hugely in the workers lead. 70 workers against 33. TY is super duper lean. How many Dark Templars is this? Yeah, that's 21 Dark Templars. That's such an insane amount of... all is white. That's such an insane amount of resources. With a Raven being out of the map, it looks like Patience will try to go for the base trade. Shadow Striding left and right, getting on top of every single unit he can. TY doesn't really want this to happen though. He wants to go for the trade. He's going into the main. And it looks like Patience is sending a huge bulk of his units back home. Might be too little, too late. The Raven still reinforcing the position. Dark Templars spread around to get as much damage as possible and to be as good defensive as possible. But 15 probes have been killed and the tech of Patience has been completely reset. Protoss tech takes quite a lot of time. It looks like even the workers are sent in. The Dark Templars are way too scary as of now. Both players just switching the bases. There's a Nexus in the bottom left. What am I watching, guys? This game is crazy. Alright, TY finds yet another base. They will steam forward. They will get this as well after getting it a couple seconds ago. Not a couple seconds, a minute ago or so. But there's a lot of Dark Templars ready to Shadow Strike. Anti-armor missile is not going to connect. It's a lot of floating buildings. 2 Nexi in the Braxian tab for Patience. 1 in the natural, well, 1 in the bottom left, 1 in the, I'd say 9 o'clock time. Of course, Patience has been mining more than TY. Is mining more than 0. which is already more than TY. Finally, TY will drop down the Nexus, well, the Nexus 7A score, drop down a bunch of mills, and will start to get some resources back even more quickly. But still a very scary position. That's a very close position, and Shadow Stride is still very much a possibility. Patience can easily get a good trade if he gets a good Dark Temple Blink. There's a lot of stuff going on for TY though, so you might not want to take the kind of fight with 2 Nexi being, well, 3 Nexi being up. Of course, Patience can macro it up, while TY on 22 workers against 50, not in a beautiful stage. That one single tank shot almost destroyed Patience's dreams. Alright, 5 more gateways in the making for Patience. He wants to get the production up and running. He's heavily supply blocked, but he's spending his resources consistently. He might need to spend some of those on pylons, at least for shield body overcharge, if not just straight up for supply. Just produce more units. But right now it's 24 Dark Templars against the Word. There's 1 Liberator on the top, on the left, and 1 on the bottom left. Really scaring Patience a lot. Finally, Stalkers will be made to clear 1 of the Liberators, but not before he gets 5 kills on the mineral line. One of the most important mineral lines out of Patience as well. One of the Stalkers falls to the Liberator, the other will barely survive as well, but in the end both Liberators have been killed, and Patience can feel a little bit safer getting a little bit more workers out. Of course, the army of TY is still very strong. He's steaming forward, he's busy in the bottom left. Doesn't really look like it's going to stay up for much longer. Of course, Dark Templars are ready to Shadow Strike forward. Tank shots are melting through these Dark Templars, but so they are melting the economy of TY, who's now on 4 workers, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be on 4 workers for much longer. Of course, this is a rich Vespin Geyser base, so TY is still getting a lot of resources. Patience is going to try and get 2 more Nexi. 1 in the right is already finished, and up 1 in the left is still trying to be made. Dark Templars are not that high in number anymore. More probes are dying to whatever was sent over here by TY, and this Nexus is going to be killed as well. Both players not really collecting much resources, and these probes are going to be recalled. It looks like Patience is still looking for damage. Dark Stride, Shadow Strike Dark Templars can still get good trades, just get in, get out, and it's going to be fine. But TY, with this bulwark of a position in the middle of the map, it's just proving a little bit too hard to break. Now that ghosts are out, oh my goodness, look at those Dark Templars, all go visible, or go low down on shields, and they're easy pickings for TY once he decides to get on top of those. Another scheme forward, TY might be going for the decisive maneuver. The boys are pulled into the fight, the probes are fighting against Marines. This one of the turret did so much work. It looks like 17 probes have been killed, which is almost the whole economy of Patience. But the most important thing happening right now is that the army of Patience is simply not dying. 1 ghost with cloak is destroying Patience right now, who has to call the GG. It's a double down for TY.